It's Groundhog Day, and that little rodent better be wrong. We don't need 6 more weeks of winter this year.
Oh, you knew he was going to see it, right? I mean,
How often
it just feels like it.
How often is that little fraud right? He's wrong more than he's right.
Yeah, I think so. Something like that. I don't know. I mean, it just seems like at this point, 6 more weeks of winter in Iowa, we're like, yeah, duh. What else would we have? Really going to have spring that comes before the actual spring? That's never happened here.
This has been unseasonable. Well, maybe not. Just colder than normal. It's just this has been after some mild winters. This one packed a little bit of a punch. And, like my sister in Florida and Chris Hassel down in Florida, they're having like an Iowa winter right now. They don't know what to do.
Yeah, right. It has been cold down there, and there isn't really anything more annoying than listening to somebody in Florida bitch about the cold, right?
Well, yeah. You might want to skip the 2 guys replay today.
Yeah, he got down to 40 degrees in the middle of the night. It was terrible. It was only 60 yesterday during the day.
Hassel did the show in a stocking cap.
Jeez. It's how thin his skin has gotten in that time.
Yeah, I know. He's an Iowan. He's a native. He knows.
Yeah.
All right.
We are actually getting a break, though, this week. We're going to be above freezing, I think, almost every day. We'll have to take it.
So glad. We're in February. By the way, this only happens every few hundred years, but we have 4 Sundays, 4 Mondays, 4 Tuesdays, 4 Wednesdays, 4 Thursdays, 4 Fridays, and 4 Saturdays. And that's it.
That's what a 28-day month will do for you, I guess,
yeah,
every now and then.
This will be the only time it lands that way in our lifetimes. Let's get going here on a Monday.
Sticks. The Hits. May 21st, Lawrence Amphitheater. One night only. Sticks. With special guest, Cheap Trick. Tickets on sale this Friday at 10 a.m. at Ticketmaster. Sticks with special guest Cheap Trick, part of the Willis Summer Concert Series.
The Murph and Andy Show is brought to you in part by Ramsey Subaru, home of the toughest, most reliable cars in the world and the people who back them up, on Hickman Road in Urbandale.
Oh, that's a good one.
What's up? I'm Jake Brend with Bigger Than 12, joined by my co-host Derek Duke, where every Sunday we break down the Big 12 Conference.
We'll recap the full day in the Big 12 and look ahead to next week.
We talk a lot of Iowa State, but it's not just Cyclones. We go from Morgantown to Salt Lake City and everywhere in between. Be sure to check out Bigger Than 12 every Sunday here on Iowa Everywhere.
Murph and Andy, talking sports and more, exclusively on Iowa Everywhere. From the Channel Seed Studios, here are Keith Murphy and Andy Sales.
People in the comments roughing up Hassel a little bit when 60 is freezing and a dive bar only has a couple of chandeliers.
Yeah, life is tough.
It's too cold to go out to Outback, honey. What will we do? Have to DoorDash. Sports and more table setter from Guesthouse Tavern and Oyster. The Cyclones flex. Stirtz stars. Boxer loses his lid. That is all coming up on the show today. Guesthouse Tavern and Oyster in West Des Moines has nightly specials, including Kentucky Fried Tuesdays. Let's get started with high or low since our last show.
Presented by Wealth Charter Retirement Planning and Tax.
Wealth Charter Retirement Planning and Tax is there for you right now, and all your questions about your retirement portfolio, your taxes, they can do those for you. They're doing all sorts of things as they're very busy right now, but they got time for you. You can reach them at wealthcharterretirement.com. I'm going to go high today as I kind of explain where I was on Friday. Is there such a thing as most wonderful funeral?
Yes.
I witnessed it
so.
on Friday. It was something that I had never seen before, and I'm confident I will never see again. A very good friend of mine, Ken Fowler, passed away last week of cancer. It started in his lungs and spread to his brain, and he had a very difficult fight in the fall and winter, and succumbed to cancer on January 23rd. Ken is absolutely one of my favorite people, and I was part of a long list of people that would say the same thing. So just to give a little bit of background, I transferred to Drake at the beginning of my sophomore year on the recommendation of one of my close friends from high school, Lee Morris, who had gone to Drake. There's Lee, who's kind of in the middle there next to Kahala and next to Ken in the sunglasses. And I just somebody whose opinion I really, really respected. She loved it there. She said, come visit with me. I'm going up there in a couple of weeks during the summer. I went. She introduced me to her friends. I met professors. And I, on her recommendation, I transferred to Drake. Our junior year, I had already known Ken. I liked him. And then Lee and Ken started dating. And so I always had that two-way connection with them. Lee, my friend from high school, Ken, my friend from college. Lee went to college with me also, so I had the Drake and Kirkwood High School connection with both of them. Ken was the guy that you always want your best friends, your daughter, your sister to marry. That's the best way that I can describe him. He was a hat for all occasions. He fit in with every single crowd. That's Ken right in front of me there, my hand on his shoulder. He was so funny, self-deprecating, fun, could quote movies, sports fan, just a wonderful person. He graduated from Drake and he joined the Chicago Police Department. His dad was a cop. His younger brothers are police officers also. Ken was the first member of his family to go to college, and they were very proud of him. He made a very good police officer and a captain, and he was set to retire in May. As a couple, Lee and Ken were everyone's favorite couple. Not just because they were fun and they were up for anything and they always showed up, but because you would look at them and you would say, you know what? That kind of relationship is possible. It doesn't seem possible sometimes. You look around, everybody's got problems. Everyone gets sick of each other. But with Lee and Ken, they could be in a fun group of people and you would look at them and immediately know that there was no one else whom they'd rather be with at that gathering than each other. And so all of us, this group of 12 to 15 friends, we're all still close from high school. Every single one of us, every couple in this group was looking forward to a day when our time with them at reunions, at weddings, wouldn't get cut short. Wasn't just limited to a couple of days. We were looking forward to a time where we'd all be retired together and we could stay a while, and they could stay a while. And we would have as much time with Lee and Ken as we ever wanted. Couldn't wait to retire with them. So he had a horrible cough last summer. Chest x-ray found the tumor. They did chemotherapy to shrink the tumor to the point where they could remove it from his lung. It never got small enough. And then at Christmas time, he started having horrible headaches. The cancer had spread to his brain. And again, just snowballed from there. They never could remove the tumor. I did have brain surgery, had horrible headaches. Lee never left his side at the hospital. He died last week. Our group of friends here that are in this picture from high school, we all showed up almost without discussion. We knew there would be a big turnout, and we just kind of knew that everybody, all of us, would be there. We've been there for all of our weddings. We know all of our children's names. We know everything. We know so much about each other. There was just no It was unspoken that we would be there to represent at Ken's funeral. So we show up on Thursday night to the visitation at the funeral home, and I'm with my friends Tracy and Scott, and Mary and Tim are in this picture also. We knew it would be a crowd at the visitation at the funeral home, but we weren't prepared for what we actually saw inside. Went inside, got filed into one of the separate rooms, funeral parlor rooms. In that room, the line snaked back and forth like you were at the airport. It went out into the hall and then into another room where the line snaked back and forth like you were at the airport. In that second room, they had refreshments. There were refreshments at the visitation midway through the line. And we were kind of laughing. I'm not going to eat a bag of Doritos as I'm waiting at a visitation, at a funeral, at a wake. I'm not going to do that. Well, we regretted that 2 rooms later when we were still in line and everybody was hungry and thirsty. And all in all, it took over 2 hours for us to reach our friend Lee and her 2 children, Lily and Frank. Frank is a junior at the University of Iowa, by the way. It took us over 2 hours of waiting in line to see them. And the line behind us never got any shorter. We found out the next day, because there was a QR code for everybody to check in to the visitation book, we found out that there were over 3,000 people who went through the funeral home to see Ken. So on Friday morning in the snow, in a very Chicago day, gray, cold, but everybody together, we show up at St. Jerome's Catholic Church in Rogers Park. It is the biggest Catholic church I have ever seen in the United States. I'm sure it's not the biggest. It's just the biggest one I'd ever been in. It looked like the type of church that you would tour in Europe. The ceilings must be 100 feet high. There were countless rows of pews. It was absolutely enormous. It was freezing cold inside. We all kept our coats, our scarves. If you had a hat and gloves, you kept those on. We moved to the front of the church with all our group of high school friends, Drake friends all around as well. Freezing cold. There's a full Irish Catholic Mass. The priest is from Ireland with this thick accent as he's up there. There's an Irish band playing, the fiddle, the flute, the little drum thing. Wonderful guitarist playing as well, softly on the side. They do the incense. You could smell that throughout that giant church. There's a full communion. It's over an hour long. Ken, his dad and brothers are all part of not only the Chicago Police Department, but also the Emerald Society Irish Bagpipe Procession, and he's been a proud member of that for a long time. The bagpipes played, of course, at the funeral. At the end of the service, we all walked out into the snow together, and I noticed as we were leaving that, first of all, the church had filled up completely. I didn't think there was any chance of that. It was full. There were people standing. The church, freezing cold when we walked in, had warmed by, it must have been 20 degrees. You didn't need a coat in there anymore. There were simply so many people that came in and so much love in that room that it raised the temperature that much. We went to the reception afterwards, but Lee and her kids got into the funeral limousine, and she told me later that they had driven through the streets of Rogers Park, where Ken grew up, and at every corner, there were Chicago police officers standing at full attention as a tribute to Ken. And then in his neighborhood, on the ball fields and courts where he played football and basketball and baseball, there they were, the Chicago police officers standing at full attention, many of them holding footballs and basketballs in their hands. It was overwhelming for her, as I imagine, as she's watching through the windows of the limousine at this, the honor bestowed on him. There's a catered reception after the funeral. The bagpipes play again. The police officers are all there. We're all there. It seems more like a wedding reception. And it all ends with Ken's friends standing up one after another in a ceremony that probably went on too long. Just everybody telling funny stories about Ken and sharing love with Lee and everyone. But all in all, it's a funeral, and it's an absolute tragedy that at 55 years old, he's gone, and my friend and her kids have to go on in their lives without their wonderful father, wonderful husband that they had all wanted to see more of and we're going to see more of very soon. But I cannot imagine a better send-off for anyone than the one I saw on Friday in Chicago. And so I feel so fortunate and blessed to have been there, to be a part of that group. And as a number of people said at the reception after the funeral, I'm honored to be one of the thousands of people who probably felt like I had something special with Ken Fowler that nobody else had.
We're sorry for your loss, Andy. That's it's hard to lose anyone too soon, and 55 is too soon.
It is. There's no doubt. But if it goes out, if we all go out with that many people wanting more from us, we lived an extraordinary life.
I feel like following that, my low being that I got home at 1 a.m. might seem a little insensitive.
We were there late last night.
Oh, man. Yeah. I got here at 1. It was really late. NBA doubleheader, and yes, they did a post game on NBC. In the early part of an NBA schedule, do we need a post game? We got one for like 13 minutes.
It just doesn't need to go on that long.
No. And NBC on Sunday nights, it's something like 6 months or more before there's a Sunday that doesn't have live sports. It's beginning with the Super Bowl this coming Sunday, but then Olympics, and then more NBA, and then Sunday night baseball, WNBA, and then right back into football. So that's what it's becoming, and that's not a bad thing. It's actually kind of smart. Just wish it would actually be in the window. It's like one of the things driving me crazy about college basketball, and I know I'm not alone on this, is are the networks ever going to figure out that college basketball games are no longer 2 hours? It's so frustrating when you turn your game on, like last night, many Hawkeye fans turned to see Iowa and Oregon. Of course, it's not there yet because there's a women's basketball game that's going over, I don't know, AD, what time did it start? 10, miss about the first 5-10 minutes?
Yeah, I think that's right. Yeah, about 10 minutes.
They're not 2 hours. Don't make the window 2 hours.
Isn't it kind of like the seating on an airplane, though? Where...
How so?
Everybody knows we don't fit in those seats, right? We don't fit in those seats. It doesn't fit.
Many people
But they
don't.
keep selling it, and people keep buying it. And so they just keep going. It just, it makes more money. They can keep you on the hook a little bit longer. It just, if they say now it's a 3-hour game, then maybe people will be like, well, it's too much for me. I'm not going to watch. But if they keep, the illusion going that you'll only be there for a couple of hours, that maybe you'll go ahead and plug in.
The only shot at a 2-hour game is a runaway. It's a blowout. That's the only way. So you don't get all the timeouts and free throws and all of that. But I was also thinking that my mom often would say, I think you were attracted to this career because you have always been a night owl. And I always was. I always hated going to bed. Yeah. Waking up was always a problem for me. I have been a night owl my whole life, even as a child. So let's get a random quickie poll from WCI Pools and Spas in Ames and Urbandale.
Which describes you better, morning person or night owl?
It's evenly split so far, but I am definitely a night owl. My wife, Jenny, is definitely a morning person. So that is not always compatible, those two things. But no question for me. What about you two? I mean, if careers aside.
Well, I mean, you guys saw me give morning person a real college try there for almost 8 years. It did not take. That was an extreme version of that. In fact, that really wasn't mornings. That was like overnights is what that shift was. But I'm a night owl. I am. I'm not nearly as extreme as I used to be, but I'm still a night owl.
Yeah, same. I wish I could be more of a night owl, but yeah, now that the kids get up between 6 and 6:30, I'm up in the morning, but I'm certainly not a morning person.
One of the worst months of my life that didn't involve a death or some kind of personal tragedy was the month I anchored morning news. I don't know how you did that for 8 years. That getting up at 2:30 in the morning, it was just like hell for me, and I just didn't think I could do it. And then I would just tell myself all day, I'd be like, okay, I got to go to bed by 7 p.m. I've got to get some adequate sleep. I'm so sleep deprived. But then 7 o'clock would come around and I'd be wide awake and I didn't want to go to bed. So then the cycle would just continue. I'd stay up too late. I wouldn't get enough sleep. 2:30 in the morning would be absolute hell. So,
well,
yeah,
I mean, you guys saw me trying to do that. It didn't go well, right? I mean, I was not healthy. Thank God we didn't have the podcast then. So everybody could have seen what I looked like in those days. I would lose myself in the middle of a sentence. I couldn't land the plane half the time because I was so stinking tired. I had to feed myself Adderall pills on Thursdays and Fridays so I could get through the entire week. I had the caffeine pills on my desk. Those are still there as a bit of a trophy.
I see them there. AD and I had kind of a system for the radio show all those years you're doing in the morning. It was like red light, yellow light, green light. We'd kind of look at each other and give the signal, or it'd be like, we're not going to get much today. I think he's asleep.
It was honestly, I mean, it really does mess with your body. That
No
was
doubt.
different. I mean, that's not the same as people like Jenny who get up, when like the earth is waking up, right?
Right.
The
That's
birds are
supposed to be ideal.
chirping, the sun is coming up. I was nowhere close to that. I was up, my alarm went off at 1:45. It was the middle of the night. It was crazy, and I'm so glad that I don't do that anymore. I mean, I feel for our friend Justin Surency and
He's
Caleb
good at
Thompson.
it.
Yeah,
I think that Justin, he's got the personality, and he says he doesn't require much sleep. So,
I didn't. You don't get much sleep. I mean, there's just no way to do it and have any semblance of a normal life. So I had 5 hours of sleep every single night. That's what I had, 5 hours of sleep, and there was just no way around it. And then when we had the radio show, I mean, I couldn't go home. The rest of those guys go home and they take a nap after that. And I could sleep for like 30 minutes, but sometimes I'd come in and you guys would see me like with a bed head. I'd slept for like 35 minutes or 40 minutes, which is just a little bit too long. That actually makes you more tired when you sleep like that. I remember Van Harden pulled me aside like early on, and he was like, okay, I got a piece of advice for you. 20-minute naps. That sounds too short, but don't let yourself sleep longer than that. And that's so depressing to hear somebody say that. Be like, hey, man, try to get in a 20-minute nap. And you're like,
right. A siesta.
That's like saying, try to have one bite of pizza, and that's it. You're just like, I can't do that. That's not enough. I want to sleep more than that. But he was 100% right. I mean, 20 minutes, you can feel refreshed. And longer than that, and you just you fall into too deep a sleep. But there is not a single regret I have about leaving that shift, man.
Van was right. I mean, increasingly big part of health, adequate sleep, and if you can nap. So I can't nap, but I know they're good for you. My dad could nap anywhere, including a restaurant with people banging dishes and glasses and talking loudly and music
That was
playing.
probably later in life. Older people can really nap, man.
They can do it. All right, so back to the NBA on NBC, which was last night. Caitlin Clark was on, and she did a good job. She played a game of what was like horse, but it was called NBC. She ended up winning that, and she was out on the set at Madison Square Garden. She did a good job. She's my height, maybe slightly taller than me. and she looked short on the set. And she joked afterwards she's going to bring stilts to her next appearance. But she's not 5'4", but she was by far the shortest person. And Maria Taylor must be really tall too, because she was part of the desk, and she was quite a bit. She probably wearing 5-inch stilettos or something too. Anyway, Clark did a good job. She got a lot of attention on social media for, you can see her facial expression when Reggie Miller says her NBA comp, or the player that reminds him of her, is Peyton Pritchard. She's like, Peyton Pritchard. She's probably ready to hear Steph Curry or somebody of that. Nothing against Peyton Pritchard, but I would never think of, Caitlin Clark really reminds me of Peyton Pritchard. So you could see the look come over her face, like, what?
I don't know his game. Maybe though that's more accurate. I mean, Steph Curry is probably something that the rest of us who aren't
NBA experts,
eyeballs deep in the
basketball
NBA would think. But maybe that's a really good comparison. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. She did well. She talked about the importance of getting back to the negotiating table and the WNBA coming to some kind of settlement. And she said she's confident that it's going to happen. And it better happen, because this is not a league that's on secure enough ground to be having a strike or missing a year. That would be disastrous. I mean, they finally have what they've always wanted, a catalyst for attention, and it is Caitlin Clark. And they missed her for most of the season last year. And Andy, people like you checked out completely once she was out, and you were far from alone on that. I mean, they still were up year to year in comparison to pre-Caitlin Clark, but some of that started to erode by the end of the season. They need to get back out on the court. They need to be careful with this, how much they insist on having, because most of what has happened is directly related to her popularity.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, the iron is hot right now with Caitlin Clark in there, and so I don't fault them for feeling like they need to use this opportunity to get more, to leverage this opportunity for as much as they can. But they need to be aware of where the breaking point is and not push past that, because I mean, if they lock out here and they end up missing another year of Caitlin Clark's prime, then they've really just hurt themselves. But I understand. I kind of understand both sides of this right now. But I mean, you can be a big time WNBA fan, but also be realistic about where it is right now with the general fan base in America.
Yeah, if you want the mainstream, of course it had fans before Caitlin Clark arrived, and we'll have fans after she leaves, I'm sure, if it's still around. But for that mainstream niche, that huge spike in attendance and ratings and all that, that was mostly Caitlin Clark. And yet the WNBA still is not comfortable with that. They put out a post earlier in the week announcing that she was going to be on NBA as a featured broadcaster, and that she would be showcased during the Sunday night prime time and all of this. They got so much blowback from, why are singling out Caitlin Clark? Caitlin Clark's not the MVP of the league. Why aren't they having Asia Wilson? So much of that crap, again, that they took the post down on all platforms. So they
That's
are
the part I
still
didn't miss last
reluctant
year.
to promote her.
Yeah, when she was out, that was the part I did not miss, right? I mean, she was out, and then suddenly that topic
Petty
was just
jealousy,
gone.
that nonsense.
Yeah, right. We didn't have that debate anymore. We didn't waste time on that shit.
Yeah, you got your Michael Jordan. You just didn't expect her to look like Caitlin Clark and be from Iowa. All right, let's catch the buzz here on a Monday.
The Buzz. Brought to you by Logier Heating and Cooling.
Logier Heating and Cooling, providing solutions to Des Moines area families for more than a century, 120 years, in fact. Happy anniversary. The Cyclones make K-State consider giving up men's basketball. I don't think they're going to do it, although if they have to keep wearing these uniforms they wore Sunday, they should give up basketball. These were atrocious. John Sears put it well when he said this happens all the time in his kids' rec leagues. like both teams show up wearing the same jerseys, so one has to change, but the jersey no longer matches the shorts. So you're just randomly, mismatched out there. These were awful.
Except this was completely intentional.
Yeah, it's a throwback. I guess there was fondness at some point. They wore these uniforms. Previous uniforms, but they couldn't have looked this bad. Could they? I mean, this is awful.
Well, I don't. I mean, I don't know what they were attempting, but it was a swing and not just a miss, but they let go of the bat and threw it over the fence.
The gold shoes in this photo don't help, even with the purple trim. Purple's tough to pull off anyway.
This is the worst basketball uniform I've ever seen. I can't remember a worse one. This is so bad, and this is another one of those, Bull Durham. You win 20 in the show, you can have fungus on your shower shoes kind of thing.
Right.
Look, if you're great and you want to wear a questionable uniform, sure. Yeah, you make that work. It's different. When you suck like K-State does right now and you wear those uniforms, it makes you look that much worse. I mean, this goes back to my story of the hurdler from Three Lakes High School who dyed his hair and his long goatee blue and then clipped the hurdle in front of the grandstand. I mean, it's just like, it makes it so much worse when you have drawn attention to yourself with a uniform like that, and then you go out and just get stomped in front of your home crowd.
And they got stomped. I mean, Iowa State was in full Final Four national championship contender mode. Now, Kansas State is not good, but Kansas State was at home. This is a rivalry. Jerome Tang at one time accused TJ Otzelberger and the Cyclones of videoing their huddles, which how would that even work? How are you going to get the information you just saw in the huddle down to the coach in time for it to do any good? It was stupid to begin with. And Otzelberger was as offended and upset as we've ever seen him about anything. It remains that way to this day. And Jerome Tang they owe him, if they fired him today, they would have to pay him almost $19 million, which is why he's probably still on the job. Because, Andy, they were so bad in the first half. There's like a 30-1 run or something at one point. It was one of those games where you thought they may fire Jerome Tang at halftime.
Yeah,
he may not come out for the second half.
Yeah, with the uniforms and the Jerome Tang buyout, I mean, what were people saying in that crowd? I mean, wouldn't you like to just drop the microphone down out of the rafters to listen in on some of the comments down there? I mean, we've all, all of these fan bases, all of our fan bases have been a part of situations like that where it just seems like nothing is going right. But this was a little next level because I think just because of the uniforms and because of, well, certainly the start to the game, but on the Iowa State side of things, I mean,
they look great.
They looked great. They have fully steered out of the little skid that they had. This is really great news. That skid was, look, I wasn't going to be surprised if that went a third game or maybe even a fourth. Maybe it was just the schedule, or maybe the fact that maybe TJ just was able to right the ship that quickly, or maybe this team is just too stinking talented to lose more than 2 games in a row. But I mean, they didn't look good for 2 games. They looked bad 2 games, and we were.
They did. I think it looked like there was a problem that we didn't know about, like something we're unaware. Like, what is really going on here? How can they be playing this badly? And they didn't just come out of that skid. They're far better now than they were before the skid. I mean, this is the best they've looked. Now, the level of competition isn't high right now. They're going to get to that in a couple of weeks, and that's going to be electric as they go through these other Final Four contenders on the schedule. But right now, I mean, they're blowing teams out by 30 points, 30 to 35 points. This is Kansas State's biggest home loss in 30 years. This is Iowa State's biggest conference road win ever. It surpasses a game from 1944 where they won at Nebraska by 33 points. I mean, they're on a level here where I know if you're a Cyclone fan, you're like, let's not get ahead of ourselves. Let's take it, game at a time, month at a time, all of that. but they're in it. They're one of the teams that can win it all.
And that's an underappreciated notch in the lodgepole that we only talk about when it's going bad. When you play down to your competition, it's always impressive when a good team beats other good teams, right? I mean, that makes you feel good. Okay, they beat a good team, a ranked team, but doing what they did yesterday to a bad team on the road. That's impressive too. I mean, that's what you're supposed to do. There's still a big target on their back when they come in. That's a rival. That's a fan base that's desperate for something, and a team that's desperate for something. I mean, that's not easy to do. And they made it look really easy, and that's a good sign.
Yeah, they really did, and it's going to be fun to watch this. I mean, I think realistically, we have one Final Four contender in the state. It doesn't mean other teams can't have good postseasons or maybe make a deep run or even a surprising run to an Elite Eight or something like that. But Iowa State men's basketball, that's the team that could make the season special. It doesn't happen very often around here. In my 36 years, there have been 2 Final Fours, and they were both the Iowa women with Caitlin Clark. The Hawkeyes needed to win at Oregon, and they did win at Oregon. And one big, Bennett Stirtz had one of those attention-grabbing games where NBA people were talking about, man, this guy can really play. 32 points, 7 assists, 0 turnovers.
I'm still coming to grips with him being projected in the middle of the first round of the NBA draft this spring.
No D1 offers out of high school. Second team all conference at Northwest
Drake
Missouri
last
State.
year. Yeah,
I know. But just think about him being second team all conference at Northwest Missouri State. He was one of the guys that when McCollum came to Drake, you're like, yeah, they've got a point guard that was a second team all conference. Yeah, second team all conference in D2. That's not a big deal.
Yeah.
Wait till he gets to Drake. He's not ready for the Missouri Valley Conference.
And he isn't somebody that comes out there and ball handles, around every player on the floor and has these incredible tomahawk dunks and is, banging 3-pointers right and left. I mean, he doesn't. The impressive part of his game is in the little details, and the stuff that you. It's almost hard to see sometimes why he's standing out to NBA scouts. And you just have to kind of remind yourself that when you watch Bennett Stirtz, you just kind of always feel like he's in control. Like he is the guy you want to have the ball at that time. And it's not because, again, he's going to, cross over somebody and then throw it down. I mean, it's just that he's not going to screw up. He's going to make a good pass. He's going to hold the ball for just the right amount of time. He's going to step back and hit a big shot. I mean, he's just one of those guys that's just a really well-rounded guard that don't come along very often. But I mean, when I look at the mock drafts and I see his name right there and all that they have to say about him underneath his name, I'm like, are you sure?
I know. The guy that looks like he greets me at Chick-fil-A?
Yeah, right. I mean, I just saw that guy at the App Center.
12 of 15 from the field. Now, they do have a growing concern. Tavion Banks, McCullum said after the game, is dealing with an injury. AD, did he play in the second half or just limited in the second half?
I don't know if he played. He only played 11 minutes in the game, so I'm not sure if he got in the second half or not. And they were pretty vague about it in the post game.
Yeah, they were, so have to keep an eye on that. The Hawkeye women go 0-2 on the West Coast swing. You kind of figured that was going to happen when they didn't beat USC. UCLA was just a mismatch. I mean, they're a contender. They're a championship contender if you count anybody other than UConn. It looks like it's going to be UConn. But UCLA is number 2 for a reason, and Iowa is not going to beat UCLA, certainly not in L.A. So let's move to the NFL, which today announced next year more international games. Paris Melbourne, Rio de Janeiro, Munich, Madrid. I almost said Madrid. And 3 games in London. So they're not letting this go, Andy.
All next season?
All next season. Paris, Melbourne, Rio de Janeiro, Munich, Madrid, and 3 in London. And maybe more. They may add more. And Jerry Jones and Robert Kraft, who have a lot of influence, have said they think this needs to move in the direction of every team needs to play 1 international game every season.
Well, it does seem like it's moving in that direction, and that kind of seems fair. I mean, I like the idea that the Saints are playing in France. I mean, that makes a little bit of sense. I haven't looked at the rest of the matchups.
There's some synergy there, sure.
Yeah, maybe. But I mean, do any Americans get excited about this? Would anybody step up and say they like this? I mean, I liked it when it was a novelty. Now it's like this duty. It's like it's a burden for fans.
Unless you're able, unless you have the means to make the trip to one
we
of
don't
these
have a
countries,
team here, so we're not going on one of these trips.
Yeah, I don't think people like it here. I think we can see it for what it is. It's the NFL just continuing to want to dominate everything everywhere. It's been a slow burn. It's getting better. I mean, the early years, the crowd didn't know when to cheer or what to do. They didn't understand. They cheered loudest for punts and kickoffs because they're used to kicking the ball being the high point of a game. There are more fans from the States that I know. Jenny was over there when the Bills played the Jaguars in London, and most of the stadium was Buffalo Bills fans. They had made the trip. They had planned it out and made the trip over there. So that's happening more. It's not as many local fans as it was at first.
Well, and you also have to remind yourself that in these gigantic cities, I mean, these are all gigantic cities, there are a lot of Americans that live in those cities. So, when football comes to them, they're excited and they show up, and that is cool. But, the NFL is always looking at growing its brand. It is. And
making
many of the ways they look bother Americans because we want to be taken care of first and sometimes just exclusively. But the NFL is, I mean, they are forward thinking. They really are. I mean, they are always looking at growing their brand into new markets and to new people and reaching new people. And look, I just don't think that any of us is in a position to doubt their wisdom over this kind of stuff because everything else they do works.
By the way, have you seen the new Budweiser ad yet for the Super Bowl?
Not yet.
Okay. Are you going to wait for the Super Bowl to watch it?
No, I'll probably see it. I'll probably see it. No, I don't need it.
It's fantastic. It's great. It's great. It also ends with made of America. Not made in America.
Made of America.
Made of America.
Not owned by an American company.
Made of America.
It's made in St. Louis, but it's not. Its ownership is not in St. Louis anymore.
You'll know you're watching the right one when you hear Freebird, the song. Confluence is the official beer of Murph and Andy. If you're looking for something more tasty than a Bud, no offense, Andy, Confluence is where you can always find a local draft beer that you will love. There are great choices there and
flavor.
Helpful bartenders. Yeah, helpful bartenders too.
At all there.
If you just say, I like this, they can help you to something that you will like. So they're very good at that. Carlos Alcaraz, worth mentioning here. He has won the Grand Slam at age 22. Youngest player ever. He has already won 7 Grand Slams. And he keeps Djokovic. I'm getting the basketball player confused with the tennis player. Novak.
Yeah, Novak Djokovic. Yeah.
Djokovic. Okay. Want to make sure I wasn't calling out the Denver Nuggets. Keeps him from winning his 25th major. They played in the finals. But this guy, this Alcaraz, is just great.
And it's crazy because it seemed like when Roger Federer started doing this, it was just something that you thought you would never see again.
We've seen it
Except
3 times since.
Before his career is even like winding down, Rafa Nadal comes on and starts doing the same thing.
Right.
And then before his career is winding down, Djokovic comes in, starts doing the same thing. And it's looking like, is tennis too easy? Is that the problem here?
It is for those 4. Oh my goodness. And now Alcaraz.
Yeah.
If he stays healthy, he'll make a run at the all-time record.
It's a chain of dominant number ones who there isn't even any space between the links on these chains. I mean, it's just like a continuous line where one of them just kind of takes the baton for the other and just keeps it going. And I mean, we forget that it was, we hadn't seen anything really like Roger Federer did before he got there. But I mean, we forget how long it was before. I mean, it would have been Pete Sampras basically was the most dominant male tennis player before Federer came, and there was a gap there between those two players, and it seemed like that should be the way that it is, right? Because it's that rare that you would have somebody that's that good, that dominates on all those surfaces despite all the competitors, and yet it doesn't look like that now.
No, and the difference between playing on grass, like Wimbledon, or clay, like the French Open, and then the hard surfaces of the Australian Open or the U.S. Open, there's a reason it's so hard to win the Grand Slam. Remember how hard Andre Agassi tried, and when he finally got it and completed the career Grand Slam, it was a really big deal because it's so hard to do. Mm-hmm. Alcaraz has done it by 22. He's like a Tiger Woods level prodigy.
These guys do it in one season.
It's wild. Let's get to my favorite boxer, Big Baby Miller. Big Baby Miller won this weekend and had one of the most electric moments in history. He got his hair knocked off his head.
Look at this. His tube turns into a flap.
Kingsley Iba knocks his hair off his head, and Big Baby Miller wins anyway. I mean, he wins despite, right now he knows he's lost his toupee.
Well, and the irony is he's fighting another guy who's bald. So
yeah, just shave your head.
Yeah, right. Like, I mean, I guess maybe he was just like, look, I'm going to go out there. I don't know if I'm a winner or not, but I'm going to have better hair.
And it's unfortunate too, Andy, because
look at this thing. It's just flapping up and down.
So the fade, the actual hair is all that stays there, but leaves it with like a big circle. He's got like a circle. He's got
those hair systems I think are more complicated than the rest of us realize. Well, they leave some of the real hair in there, and it's all engineered. But I mean, you're sweaty, your head is getting punched, like, and so
it's hot.
It's jarring movements to your scalp at the least. So I mean,
the commercial says you can swim in it. I don't think I've ever seen a commercial that says
you can box
in it. Yeah. But he Big Baby went out there and tested it.
Glue is so strong it can absorb a punch from a super heavyweight champion. Nobody says that. I mean, somebody must have been like, "Hey, man, I don't know. I don't think you should put hair in there, man. I don't know if it's is it certified for that type of PSI?"
And Big Baby handled it well. Like, he kind of chuckled and he just threw it into the crowd. Yeah. Which that's not like getting a baseball from Clayton Kershaw.
No. Somebody immediately takes a picture of just this rug sitting on the chair next to them, sitting on the empty chair.
Would you grab for that? I don't think you want that. I don't think you want to take that home with you.
No, it's not a great souvenir.
But he won.
But it's a good picture. Good social media post.
Andy brings us more next on a Murph and Andy Monday.
With 5 Central Iowa locations, there's always a Heartland Tire and Auto nearby to take care of everything your car needs. From oil changes to complete transmission overhauls, they do it all. For 15 years now, Heartland Tire and Auto has been a proud sponsor of Murph and Andy.
This game is once in a century. Be there at Casey's Center on February 12th. Go to HarlemGlobetrotters.com for your tickets to the 100-year tour.
Get ready. Blues Traveler and Jen Blossoms. Plus special guests, Spin Doctors. September 10th, Lordson Amphitheater at Waterworks Park. Blues Traveler, Jen Blossoms. Tickets are on sale now at Ticketmaster. Blues Traveler and Jen Blossoms. Presented by the Willis Summer Series.
But wait, there's more. From Either Or Eatery and Patio.
Nice and warm inside Either Or Eatery and patio. They got a patio there, but it's really more of just kind of a decorative piece right now while it's cold.
Yeah, I don't think you want to sit on the patio today.
No, but you can look out those nice glass garage door windows at the patio outside and dream of warmer times as you're nice and warm inside and have a great meal. And top shelf cocktails from their fantastic bar they've got there. Des Moines' historic City Hall building is now empty. It is closed. Closed. Now that the offices were moved over to the TM Franklin County City Administration building. That doesn't really roll off the tongue.
No, it doesn't.
City
this is
building.
close to where I am now.
Yeah.
And that is a beautiful building.
It really is.
Mean,
It's beautiful inside too.
Yeah, it looks like something you would see in Europe. You know, it does. It really stands out. And so what are they doing with it?
I don't know.
Gosh, I hope it's not going to be knocked down.
No, I don't think that's the plan. I mean, I have been to some cities where I've seen buildings of this style turned into hotels. There was one in Tampa. It was really cool. I mean, that takes a lot of work, but it is really. It's got a great location. I mean, right there on the riverfront, backing up to the East Village, sidling up to the soon-to-be Market District to the south there. It really is a good spot for a hotel.
I've seen in Boston, they took a building like this and made it into like just a series of restaurants and shops and bars. You know, you just walk through there and you have unlimited options. I don't know if that area could house that much activity, but if there was parking, it could.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I know that they're very open to.
Isn't that a mall? What you just described?
Yes, it is a mall and a really nice building.
It's been kept up well, and then the Armory is right there over on the other side of the Brenton Skating Plaza. So I mean, there's a couple of pretty noteworthy classic buildings there that all need to be repurposed in downtown Des Moines. From the Des Moines Register today, I was wondering if this might happen. The new owner of the Greenwood Lounge on Ingersoll is doing some minor upgrades. Minor, everybody, just Greenwood fans, just chill out. This is minor upgrades, okay? They're not going to change the whole thing.
A minor upgrade would be like a mop and a broom.
Well, there you go. That's what you'll see in these pictures here. In the last few weeks of January, Connor Delaney, who is the new owner there, has installed a new ice maker. There wasn't an ice maker there at this bar. This poor bartender who's like 65 years old has had to haul bags of ice in there to use every night because the ice maker was broke. What bar doesn't have my bar has an ice maker.
I love the authenticity of a real classic dive bar here at the Greenwood, but it does need some minor upgrades.
An ice maker makes authentic ice.
Yeah,
it's actually frozen water.
When we do our dive bar bathroom contest in the spring, this is going to be a contender, depending on how much it's been upgraded.
They are cleaning up the bathrooms, or even putting new flooring in the women's bathroom, which I have not been in that bathroom, but
good.
I can promise you it needs new flooring. You could see that they were also just like sweeping the cobwebs out of the ceiling beams and stuff. They said they cleaned the windows for what seemed like maybe the first time in 30 years where the sun actually comes through the windows, which is kind of the point of a window, even though it's not open in the day. But you knew this was going to come because the Ingersoll Dinner Theater has been all refurbished next door, and the Manhattan Deli is very nice on the other side. So, I mean, right? I mean, it's, you got to do something with the green.
There are opportunities there to have a bigger swath of customers.
The 90-plus years of graffiti inside apparently will stay. They'll clean the bathrooms, but they're not going to scrub the walls. NASA's Artemis 2 mission is scheduled to launch as early as February 8th, sending 4 astronauts around the moon in a 10-day test flight. This will be the first crewed lunar flyby in over 50 years.
That's a big deal. It doesn't seem like this is getting the attention I would expect for a moon mission, and they're going really deep too. This is awesome. I love it.
I mean, we don't need to go to the moon anymore. I mean, we've already done that. It's been a long time, but I don't know what we're going to do there. I mean, it is, I'm sure, extremely
listen,
expensive.
Buzzkill Lightyear. We're going back, and then we're landing on it next year, right?
Yeah, they're gonna eventually land on it. I think that's why they stopped landing on the moon in the first place. Is they're like, okay, this is really expensive. Obviously, we're putting some lives at risk, and like we've already done that. So why we're not doing anything with it? Maybe they're doing more with it now. Maybe they're just doing it. Yeah.
This looks like the astronaut crew of a Netflix movie on going to the moon. Aren't they just like a really good-looking crew?
Nice and diverse there. Is that what you're saying?
Well, no, I was saying more than just they almost look AI. Look at the guy on the right of your screen. He's got like he's got the chiseled jaw, and he's got a dimple in his chin.
Yeah, I honestly I don't know if this is the actual crew or not, or if it is AI, and if it's the actual crew that's been cleaned up by Instagram filter or whatever.
We're not even sure we're who we say we are.
Let's do a maturity check real quick on me.
All right.
Here we go. Yeah, still 15 years old. The fart that ruined dinner.
With the, what's that? The good, the bad, the ugly?
Oh, my God.
I can't whistle.
That's really funny. More contributor Keith sent this from X. Let's read it, put it up there. It says a Florida woman has been accused of driving a motorized shopping cart through a Target while drinking wine from the bottle and eating sushi and cinnamon rolls. Funny story. The Moore team looked into it, though, and it turns out this story has been regurgitated and doctored a bit. But there is more to it. The actual story happened back in 2015, and it was this woman who did it, a 25-year-old Jocelyn Lopez. She was drinking wine and driving the motorized cart, but it was in Walmart, not Target.
That adds up.
She was on meth. Along with drinking the wine, and she didn't just eat sushi and cinnamon rolls. She also ate mini muffins and a rotisserie chicken.
Oh, wow.
Put away like $35 worth of food before the cops finally came in there and stopped her.
God, that's good investigative work, Andy. And the thing that got me with this is the cinnamon rolls and sushi, because that's just such a bizarre combination to drink with wine on a motorized cart. And then the other part of what did raise my suspicion a little bit is this woman seemed like healthy and good looking and kind of normal, and this usually goes back to you ending it with an and she was on meth.
Yeah, she was a little too good looking. I looked at it, I was like, nah, I don't know. I
gotta look into this.
Yeah,
all right, good
so
for you.
The team cracked into that, and it did happen. Not quite like that. Actually, it's even better when you look into it. So sometimes that happens. The story's even better.
I hope she's doing well now. She's had 10 years to get her life together.
All right, let's finish up with this from BuzzFeed. Habits that low-key gross others out. Okay? Habits that you may have, and I have some of these habits.
Okay.
I'll just go ahead and be very honest here. But they could be grossing out people nearby.
Okay.
And I think I could say that sometimes that person nearby is my wife. Just to be more forthcoming. People who chew with their mouth open. Yeah. Your mom told you not to do that. She was right. You can't do that.
Yeah, and it can I can get where I'm not paying attention and I need to be redirected. And it is a really, really bad habit.
And sometimes they make like a noise too, or like,
yeah. Yeah, you get somebody eating wings with their mouth open.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well,
And
that
if
leads
they-
us
if
right
they
into
also-
another thing on the list is licking your fingers. People get grossed out by you licking your fingers, which
I
you
know.
do, I think, when you're eating wings. But like when you're at work, somebody's eating maybe Cheetos or something, and then you hear them.
I do this though. Do you do this if you have something there's like not a napkin available or it's dripping?
I always go napkin first. I don't like licking.
Well,
my
that's
fingers.
mature.
Yeah, I try to go napkin first. Sometimes I suppose you got no choice. Clipping your nails in public, bro, or not in your bathroom. Yeah, I've done that.
What
I've
about
done
on
that.
an airplane? You ever
No,
done it on an
no, never.
airplane?
No,
Okay, good.
absolutely not. Letting their dogs lick them in the mouth. That's gross. I know what Lewis does in like what he eats and stuff. There's no chance. No.
Yeah, and the dog's mouth cleaner than a human's, that's a myth. That's an urban legend.
It is at this house, that's for sure. People who don't wash their hands after using the toilet. I sometimes will run in there and I and pee and then run out of there real fast.
I've been on a national video not washing my hands, so I'm going to sit this one out. Deal me out, Neil.
My coworker licks his fingers after eating chips. Yeah, we already talked about licking fingers. Not taking your shoes off inside a home past the entryway. Cannot think of remnants from all the liquids, dog shit, etc., from the streets and sidewalks. Yeah, that's a thing here in Iowa. I do appreciate it. I don't like asking people to do that at my house. I don't expect them to do it, I don't think, at my house, but and maybe I don't do it at everybody else's house. I'm probably not a real good person to talk to about this subject.
I do stop people sometimes and say, like, you don't have to take your shoes off. For
I do that every time. Please don't.
Some people insist anyway. And then
please don't take your shoes off.
Yeah, leave your shoes on. I don't want to see your feet. I don't want to smell your socks.
And it gets
I'd rather
awkward.
have remnants of dog piss tracked around my floor than your feet.
It gets awkward for me when I walk into like a gathering and some people have their shoes on and some off. And then I'm like, okay, what's the proper move here? So then I ask, you want us to take our shoes off? And most people will say, oh no, you don't have to. But then you feel like, does that really mean yes?
Yeah. Oh, you don't have to. That means yes. If they say it
That
like
means
that.
yes.
Oh, for
Yeah,
sure.
that means yes.
Yeah. People who announce what they're going to do in the bathroom or discuss it afterwards.
I'm going to tear it up. I'm going to tear it up.
I'll be right back. I'm going to go take a dump. Boy, you're going to want to find another bathroom here. You're going to
I
want to get
wouldn't
out
go
of
in
here.
there for a while.
They think they're being courteous. Some people think they're being gross.
Stay away from there unless you have a hazmat suit.
Burping and farting in general, I know it's normal, but I hate it when people do it to be funny. Don't watch this show, that's for sure. Snot rockets. Oh, God. Kahala hates
Farmer's
those.
blow?
The farmer's blow. I mean, but that's part of being a man outside the world, right? That farmer's blow.
Oh, yeah.
Snot
Sometimes
rocket.
you just have to do it. I
Yeah,
mean,
just you clear it out in the shower in the morning. You do that. Oh yeah. Get that cleared out there. Munching on crunchy cereal. The whole birthday blowing out candles ritual. They're grossed out
because
by
you're
that.
blowing
People-
spit all over the cake.
Oh, I've never really thought about that. Can't you
Yeah,
have a
you
real
are.
clean blow?
If you watch like super slow-mo of somebody blowing out the candles, you won't want the frosting again.
Yeah, well, don't ever take a microbiology course, that's for sure. You will be grossed out by everything until you die. Nail biting, my husband does this. Every time I see him, I tell him to stop. Yeah, that is gross.
I've never bitten my nails.
I used to bite my nails, and now I keep them trimmed and manicured. That's one way I stopped biting my nails, and I've never stopped. So now I'm always particular about my nails. My workmate leaves his snotty tissues on his desk. Gross. As someone who works with a lot of physical paperwork, people licking their fingers whilst turning pages always grosses me out. Yeah, I know how that goes. That's your more, everybody.
All right, thank you, Andy. It's time for Throwdowns.
Throwdowns. It's Throwdowns. Backed by Heartland Tire and Auto.
Heartland Tire and Auto, treating you like family at all their locations, an authorized dealer of both Firestone and Bridgestone tires. Murph, we'll start with you. John Sears had his commentary on Sound Off last night about this. Players are trying to come back to college to use their eligibility and make some NIL money after they've already been drafted and in some cases even played professional games. Where should the line be drawn for players coming back to college basketball?
Well, it's more nuanced than it appears on the surface because we're now essentially creating professional contracts for college basketball players. I mean, they're being paid in some cases hundreds of thousands of dollars to play college basketball. So if you want to take the moral ground on this and say everybody that's paid, that includes college, none of those people could play college basketball, we wouldn't have major college basketball right now. So it's not as easy as it seems on the surface, but to me, it's still, if you have signed a professional sports league contract, you can't play college basketball anymore. And these guys aren't coming back for the love of college basketball. They're coming back because they're now being paid so much money to play college basketball. As John pointed out last night, they had their opportunity to get a college degree and to go out into the professional world, and they gambled on themselves and left early, and they have the right to do that, but I don't think they should be allowed to come back if they've played professionally, even though I also hear the hypocrisy of what I'm saying, because they're leaving professional basketball to come play what is essentially professional basketball inside the NCAA umbrella.
Yeah, I can't add a whole lot to that. I feel the same way out of principle. I think college sports do need some lines drawn, and this is one set of lines that needs to be drawn.
All right, Andy, the Iowa wrestling team lost its fourth duel of the season on Friday at home to ninth-ranked Minnesota. Now, all four losses have been to top 10 teams, but this is a program that isn't used to losing. Should Tom Brands be on the hot seat?
I hate to say it because I love Tom Brands, and I fully respect him as a coach and all that he's done at Iowa. But look, I mean, this is kind of like Nebraska basketball back in the 90s. I mean, when you develop a taste for championships and an expectation of them, this is the drawback, right? I mean, because coaches don't stay on top. Their methods aren't innovative and, bulletproof forever. Eventually they get passed by, and then you got a decision to make. I mean, he's a proud guy. He's not stepping down. I mean, Tom Brands isn't going to be the one to pull the trigger on this, but I think it is fair for fans to say, we may be getting to that point. He deserves a chance to steer out of the skid. There's no doubt, but I mean, this is a pretty good sample right now that we've had for a number of years that show that Iowa has lost a lot of ground in wrestling.
His resume is accomplished enough that he should get the benefit of the doubt here, and he's young enough that you don't want to make a mistake sending him on his way. But I think the seat should definitely be at least warm, and that at a minimum, Beth Getz has to call him into the office and say, changes have to be made. Because the buzz is out of Hawkeye wrestling at this point. And I know we're grading on quite a curve here because they're still in the top 10 and they're still a proud wrestling program, but they're not anywhere near Penn State. And I know Penn State has more money, but have you been to Iowa's wrestling facility? It's not like there's not any money in Iowa wrestling either. But I think what's turned fans off the most, and Andy and I are not wrestling experts by any means, but just listening to fans, they want the style to be more attacking and aggressive. They want the swagger back. They want the bad boys of wrestling image back. And all of those things are gone. I think you maybe give Tom one more year to see if he can do that by maybe changing some assistants or doing something different. But if not, you can't let this fall much further.
Yeah, a lot of Hawkeye fans looking at Doug Schwab up at you and I with,
I get it.
And I. All right, Murph, Bad Bunny won 3 Grammys last night, including Album of the Year. On a scale of 1 to 10, rate your interest in Sunday's halftime show performance.
10 being Prince is retaking the stage despite dying a few years ago.
Yeah, and 1 being you're going to turn the TV off and go to Turning Point USA or whatever.
I'll say it's a 3, and that's mostly just to see what kind of show he puts on and then to be able to have the context when people are praising it or bitching about it. And usually in concerts at halftime, there's very little middle ground. That was fantastic. That was awesome, man. I loved it. I loved everything about it. And then that's the worst thing I've ever seen. I can't believe, how do I get those 15 minutes of my life back? There's like so many things in America. We've just lost the middle. We'll hear the extremes, but I want to at least have the context. But his music, I don't really know.
I'm at an 8 or a 9 here.
Yeah.
I don't see how you can not be interested in seeing this. I mean, unfortunately, the right has turned this into a political thing, and it is, hating on him has become something that's expected of you if you're of that political mindset. I don't know why. It doesn't make any sense to me. There have been a million different artists who've not liked the Republican president in the past. They've not liked the Democratic president in the past, and it's never been to this level. But, I'm not a Bad Bunny music fan, but I absolutely want to watch this. I want to see what he's going to do. And then I want to, you're going to sit there and be like, well, then this is going to piss everybody off, or this is going to piss them off, right and left. And I want to be able to see that. Yeah. And I think it's going to be a good show. Look, he's the most popular artist in the world right now, and for a reason. I mean, he's doing something better than anybody else.
Yeah, I know him more for his movies than his music. I really don't know his music. I've seen him in Bullet Train and Happy Gilmore 2. I might be missing something.
I do think it's going to be an
I've seen.
entertaining show. It's whether or not you know the music. I'm excited to check it out.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Thank you, AD. Speakpipe.com/Murph_Andy is where you go to leave a rant of any kind. What's bugging you is what we call it. We play the best of what AD picks out on Friday's show. So just go there anytime. It's really easy to do. Speakpipe.com/Murph_Andy. You leave a message anytime, day or night. You're not bothering anyone. So feel free to do it. Interact on YouTube, on X, or you can email Murph_Andy at iowaeverywhere.com. And it's all powered by the Cellular Advantage, now able to help with your T-Mobile and U.S. cellular needs. Time for the Andrew Downs audio drop of the day, or as we call it, the AD Square.
Yeah, powered by Game Day Men's Health, Ankeny West, Des Moines, North Liberty, wherever you are. There's a game day near you, and they can help you with whatever you need. Make 2026 your healthiest year ever. We talked last week about Bill Belichick being snubbed by the Hall of Fame, at least on the first ballot. And our buddy Chris Hassel and his friends at CBS Sports have come up with some fake headlines around that story.
On the heels of denying 8-time Super Bowl champion Bill Belichick, the Hall of Fame Selection Committee is urging 7-time Super Bowl champion Tom Brady to get back on the gridiron. I'd say if he wins 10, he's probably good. A dozen, no question, would get it done, though. Wow, we have just gotten news that the Hall of Fame Committee has now begun to rescind gold jackets. Vince Lombardi voted out, with one anonymous voter writing, quote, carried by Bart Starr. Yeah, being told Joe Green is in trouble. He was too mean. Even more names now on the Hall of Fame hot seat. Johnny Unitas, who they're calling a yak merchant. Bruce Smith, sack merchant. Jerry Rice, receptions, receiving yards, touchdowns, and Super Bowls merchant. which is true. I mean, if you take all that away, he was terrible.
I had not seen that. That's great. I'm glad they put Chris to use like that. What wasted years at ESPN, at least for his talent.
I was just thinking the whole time how much funnier he would have been on Sound Off.
In that particular
skit, it would have been.
Yeah, you're getting
the CBS version there. Right?
You're getting the PG version, the PC version, however you want to say it.
The CBS version.
The CBS version is being very careful to not upset any CBS partners. We don't have that concerns here in Des Moines, although he did manage to upset Iowa and Iowa State frequently.
Oh, yeah.
How many times?
Yeah. He upset lots of people.
Oh, yeah.
We just didn't care.
Iowa was just
Was it
so
funny
frustrated.
first? It was always funny first.
Yeah. Is it funny? Iowa's frustrated. He's clearly a Cyclone. Cyclones clearly, they're upset because, it was all a mess. Quickie poll results we just have one quickie poll today.
Which describes you better, morning person or night owl? Yeah, straight up and down, just a good basic question like that. We got almost an even split here. We got 52% say they are a morning people, morning persons.
I thought this would be tilted much more toward night owls. I guess there's more morning people in my midst than I realized.
Definitely getting harder to be a morning person in the world of sports, I think, right? Like being a sports fan as a morning person.
Oh, man.
Stuff is getting later at night.
Iowa Washington tips off at 10 o'clock Central Wednesday night.
No. 10 o'clock Central?
Yeah.
I thought it was midnight.
No, I think it's 10 o'clock Central.
Oh, it's...
Yeah.
I'm going the wrong way.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank God. If it's midnight.
Yeah. When is
I
buckets?
can't make that.
It would be like midnight in Newfoundland?
Yeah, I think it's an 8 p.m. Washington time tip. Hassel will be up past 1 watching this game.
Oh, okay. So 10 p.m. Central time. So
it is weird, though, when somebody's a morning person, they're like, boy, I'm asleep by 8 o'clock. Really? By 8 o'clock you're asleep? That's just... That's crazy. What you're missing the meat of the evening.
Justin Cernsey right now, it's where he is in Italy. It's 8:16 p.m. So he's going to start his live shots in the morning, but that'll actually be a better sleep schedule for him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, right.
'Cause he'll be live on our news at like 4:30 in the morning, but that'll be 10:30 in the morning in Italy. He's probably like, man, this is great.
Oh, he could have been broadcasting from Tonga and probably had a better sleep schedule than he's got right now in the morning show. Phew.
Good point. We thank you for joining us here on Murph and Andy on a Monday. Iowa Everywhere is where you... What was
My
that?
bad. I hit the wrong
Did you just
button.
dump water on us?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm jumping into the hot tub.
Make it easy to get the show by liking and subscribing. We're back Wednesday, and we hope you are too.